Okay. So, welcome to our week 3 discussion. And this week, we will be learning about, your classmates are correct, chords, arcs, central, and inscribed angles. And this is actually a very easy topic for you to learn. So to those who had a problem with their grades in the first quarter, during the first quarter, this is your time to make bawi because this topic is so easy. Shall we start now? Kindly show me a reaction if you're ready to learn this topic now. Let me see. Okay. Thank you. Good. Let's now move on. I hope you answered this. These are basic parts of the circle. Okay, and now let's move on with this one. So, our topic actually is about chords. Chords, arcs, and then we also have central and inscribe angles. Ayan. And these topics are so easy. So everybody, let's now start learning all this. Okay, let's have this first one. So let's have a short recall of our concept about circles. Ayan. So when we say circle, yan, let me move over there. Okay, here. So let's get to know circles now. What do you call this of the circle? You know this already. We had a discussion of this before. What's this part of the circle? Type it in the chat box, please. What is this part of the circle? This. What's that? Okay, very good. Kindly ready your chat box, huh? I want you to be active participants for this. So that's a center. So we know that already. And then we also have these parts. Yan. So what about this? What if we have a line here connecting our center and the point on the circle? What's that? Radius. Very good. What if I extended it here? I extended it. The endpoints are now points of the circle. Very good. That's the diameter. Correct. And then that's it. That's all we need to know. What about the distance around the circle? The distance around the circle. What's that? The circumference. Okay, very good. Okay, so you now know the basic parts of the circle. Let's now move on with the other parts of the circle. Okay, so we have other lines here that we need to take a note. And these are, the first one is the second line. Okay, when we say second line, there, the second line is a line that intersects a circle at exactly 2 points. So given this line, this point and the other point are the points that intersect this second line and the circle. So this is what we call the second line. If there are two intersecting points, 2 points that intersect the circle. Okay, that's second. Got it? Now, if a line intersects a circle at exactly 2 points, that's called second. But what about if it only intersected a circle at exactly 1 point? Let's say, for example, this. There you go. So if it intersected the circle at exactly 1 point, that's that point. This line is now called the tangent line. line. Ayan. So, again, ready? If that's the tangent line, this point of intersection is the point of tangency. Ayan. Only the tangent line, the points of intersection, the point of intersection of the tangent line and the circle is called the point of tangency. Okay? And of course, if, for example, by the way, if we put letters here, we can name this secant lines and tangent line by using symbols as well. If this is circle A, this is point B, this is point C, and this is point D, secant line can be renamed as line BC. Or it could also be line CB. Look at the symbol. The symbol of the second line is has arrows simply because the symbol of the second line has arrows on both ends. So which means the distance or that line is continuously extending. So it can extend infinitely. There's no problem with that. And for the tangent line naman, so this can be named as, of course, you will be needing 2 points for your line. So let's say this is point E. Ayan. So the tangent line here is line DE. Or it could also be line ED. No specific direction because a line can be named in either directions. Okay? Take note of that. And of course, the point of tangency is just point D. Point D. Okay? Show me a reaction if everything about that concept is clear. Let me see. Show me reaction if everything about secant and tangent line are clear. Very good. Okay, so we don't have any problem about this tangent line and the secant line. Let's see if you really understood and can still recall what we talked about here. Okay. Game. What if? Kindly open your chat box. Ready your chat box. I will change the directions of this. Okay, that's it. So let's say this is point E. This is point F. And this is point G. Okay. Kindly open your chat box and type your answer. Name the following symbols. Ready? What do you call the following? Type your answer in the chat box. What do you call line EF? Type it in the chat box. What do you call line EF? Type it in the chat box. Everybody is encouraged to type their answers in the chat box. Very good. Your classmates are correct. This is called the secant line. Secant line. Okay, simply because there are 2 points that intersect a circle. What about line GF? What do you call line GF? Type it in the chat box. Let me see. Good. That's called the tangent line. Why? Why is it called the tangent line? How many points of intersection are there when a tangent line intersects a circle? How many points of interaction? Okay. Oops. Kapag tangent line, ilang points of intersection? Okay, it's just one. Very good. It's just 1 point. And what do you call? What is the point of tangency in this figure? What is the point of tangency? Type it in the chat box. What's the point of tangency in this image, in this picture? Very good. And that's point F. Point F. That is the point of tangency. Good. So very easy. Okay. G is not the point of tangency. That's just another point on the line. So G is not the point of tangency, but F. Take note of that. Okay. Okay. So I guess everything is clear about those things. Let's now move on with this one. If these are secant and tangent, what about this? What if this is point L, this is point M, and this is point X? Ayan. If line LM is a secant, what is line segment LM? What is line segment LM? It's a line segment. It's not a line. Look at the symbol of this symbols. This one has arrows on top. Arrows on top. In short, they are extending. And what about this? It doesn't have arrows on both ends of the symbol. And so therefore, that's just a line segment, which means this we are referring to from this point up to that point only. So that is line segment LM. What do you call line segment LM now? Type it in the chat box. What do you call line segment LM now? Okay, 5 of your classmates are now sending 6 and they are sending the same answer. Your answer is correct. Line segment LM is what we call the chord. When we say chord, the endpoints are points on the circle. So therefore, in here, even if the line is extending, since it's in our symbol, we are only referring from this point to this point. Therefore, this line segment is what we call the chord. And the endpoints are points on the circle. Got it? Show me a reaction if that's clear to you. Show me a reaction if you can see, you understand the difference between second line and the chord. Very good. Okay. Basta always remember, if it's extending beyond the circle, that is a secant. And if it ends on the circle, the endpoints are points on the circle, then that's what we call the chord. Take note of that. Okay. Let me remove this and change my images here. What if we have this? Okay, we have here. I will show you two line segments. Here. Ayan. Okay. So we now have this figure. I want you to be keen in analyzing these images. Let me name the points here. This is point B. This is point C and point D. Ready? Okay. What do you call line segment CD? Type it in the chat box. What do you call line segment CD? Type it in the chat box. Okay, very good. Your classmates are correct. So simple. This is chord. What about line segment CB? What is line segment CB? Okay. I'm waiting for your classmates. Okay, so there are different answers coming out. Some of your classmates are typing chord. And some are typing diameter. Okay. Which one is correct? Is it a chord or diameter? If it passes through the center, what is it? If it passes through the center, that's already a diameter. However, is it still a chord? Is it still a chord? Yes or no? Is the diameter a chord? Yes or no? Type your answer in the chat box, please. Only one answered. Okay, oops. There are yes and no answers. Now, here it is. So, there's no question about it being a diameter. The endpoints are points on the circle, and it passes through the center. So, diameter is correct. What about the chord? Is it still a chord? Let's see. The definition of the chord is it's a line segment whose endpoints are points on the circle. Are the endpoints of CB points on the circle? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. So therefore, CB is also a chord. And so this is a trivia. This is a trivia that you need to know. When we say diameter, this is actually the longest chord of the circle. Okay? Yun na yung pinakamahaba kasi it will pass through the center. Why? Haba kasing lumalayo yan sa center. Lumalayo, lumalayo, paliit ng paliit yung measurement niya hanggang sa ganito na lang siya. So therefore, that simply means that a diameter is still a chord, and that's the longest chord of the circle. Kindly show me a reaction if you understood that concept. Okay, show me a reaction, please. Feel free to explore the reactions. Good. So I'm happy that everything is still showing positive responses. Well, I am expecting that because our topic for this week will be so easy. Okay, let's now move on. Now that we are cleared about secant, tangent, and chord, don't forget all these concepts because we will be using this until the next week. Okay? Now, let's move on with this next part. The arcs of the circle. Very, very simple. This is very simple. When we say arcs, let me add another symbol, another line. Okay, here. I hope now that we are having different lines in our circle, you will not be confused with this. And I want you to still have clear analysis, clear imagery of this figure. Okay, now we now have different points here and different lines. Okay, now we have three kinds of arcs. We have the minor arc. We also have the semicircle. I know, major arc muna. Okay, semicircle na lang. Sila yung pangalawa natin. Let's make the semicircle our second. Semicircle. And the major arc. And then you will see there the choices. No? Okay, very simple. Minor arc, always take note of this. Minor arc is below 180. So the measurement of this is below 180. Wait lang. Okay, semicircle is exactly 180 degrees and major arc is greater than 180 degrees. Take note of that. Okay, and what's the measurement of the 180 degrees? Let's start with the semicircle. Semicircle is always divided by the diameter. Semicircle is always divided by the diameter. So in this case, semicircle is divided by line, segment, or chord CB. Can you imagine that? So CB is our diameter. Therefore, we have two semicircles here. We have arcs C from C going to E, from E going to B. That's the first arc. So therefore, in here we have arc C, E, B. Can you imagine? And another semicircle is arc from here naman. Oh, actually, whichever direction you want, clockwise or counterclockwise, from C going to D, and from D going to B. So another arc is arc C, D, B. Can you imagine? And both of them are equal to 180 degrees. Okay? Show me reaction if that's clear to you. Show me reaction if semicircle is clear to you. Very good. So therefore, it means semicircle is half of the circle. Therefore, if you will add all the measurements, angle, arc measurements in a circle, what is the total? If there are two semicircles and each semicircle is 180 degrees, what's the total arc measurement of a circle? Type it in the chat box. Let me see. 360 degrees. That's correct. Please take note of that. The total measurement of the arcs of a circle is 360 degrees. Very good. Okay, let me remove this now. Now that you know how to name the semicircle. Okay, so that's it. The total is always 360 degrees. Total yon. Okay, take note of that. Now, if the semicircle is now clear to us, anything below the measurement of the semicircle or smaller than semicircle is just a minor arc. Sige nga. Sample. If CB is our diameter, minor arc is, wait, look at this. CE. Look at CE. CE. Here. From C going to E. There. From C going to E. Is that a minor arc or a semicircle? Is it a minor arc or a semicircle? Type it in the chat box, please. It's minor arc because it's smaller than the semicircle, right? So therefore, that is named as arc CE. Or arc EC can also be its name. So there's no problem. What's important is it's smaller than the semicircle. And for the minor arc, we often use two-letter words just to connect the two endpoints, the two end marks of the arc as our minor arc. So 2 letters can be used for minor arc. You can also use 3. Okay? Maximum of 3 lang ha, wag ng 4 or more kasi it's either 2 or 3 letters na pwedeng gamitin para sa ating minor arc. Okay, but for semicircle and major arc, it should always be 3 letters. Okay? Let's have another. Kindly, as long as maliit po siya. Sir, yes, as long as maliit siya and mas maliit siya sa semicircle. It should always be below semicircle or shorter than the semicircle. Okay? What else? Name, please type in the chat box. Name other semicircles in this, name other minor arcs in this figure. Sige nga. Name other. You don't forget to write arc, huh? If you cannot type the arc symbol, at least type the arc word. Halimbawa, arc. Hindi siya BD arc, ha? Arc BD. Sample. This one. Arc CE. Ayan. Ganyan yung pagpapangalan. And it should always be capital. Okay? Let's see. Type your answers in the chat box, please. Name other minor arcs in this figure. Okay. Let's see the answers of our classmates. Our classmates are continuously sending their answers. Let's name and identify one by one. Arc CD. Okay. CD or DC. That's correct. Arc CD or arc DC. Very good. That's a minor arc. We also have arc BD. So arc BD or arc DB. That's correct. We also have CD, CD.